So already the MC pumping up the crowd. They won't need much pumping when this semi-final starts. But Marlon already out at the table. An experienced campaigner. He'll have played in front of massive crowds around the world. And he'll just have one thing in mind, and that will be to perform to the best of his ability.
Well, he's recently become a father as well, hasn't he? So you'd imagine he's become more compassionate as a family man, but not here today. He's got his business face on, and he's been imperious throughout, despite that slightly wayward performance yesterday against Robert Gardosh. But Gardosh played extremely well, the Austrian. There's Ulf, looking excited. He's been very animated, hasn't he? He's been so much to cheer about. The Swedes surpassing themselves really to get to the semi-finals. Quarterfinals originally was their goal. As we take a look at the former world #1, look at that, the reigning Olympic Games champion and twice world champion as well. So, and what a record for him. He's 4-0 here, as you can see. Gardosh took him close yesterday, but Marlon coming good in 5 tight games. His opponent, well, he's 7 wins, only 1 loss. The man who uses the pimples on the forehand side. Swedish Open runner-up a couple of years ago. But they have played twice before, these two. Marlon with a 2-love stranglehold over those head-to-head matches. The last one was in 2016. But this is a very much improved Swede. And he's big, tall, imposing. Playing some great ball. Took up Liam Pitchford yesterday, amongst others.
His only defeat, of course, was to Timo Boll at the beginning of the tournament. So he's had an incredible run of victories. And Tikkun KARLSSON there will be absolutely delighted, not just with the performance of Mattias KARLSSON, but with the whole team.
So 14 spots separate them then on the world ranking list. Marlon, 3 years senior to the 26-year-old Swede.
And so what will be on Marlon's mind tactically now will be the fact that Mattias KARLSSON plays with the short pimples on the forehand. The ball comes through very flat when you hit through it with the short pimples. He'll serve with the reverse, then he'll settle down with the short pimples on the forehand and the reverse rubber on the backhand. The reverse rubber will come through with topspin. The short pimples will come through flatter. The short pimples are very good for hitting through spin. So it'll be interesting how Marlon handles that.
Former world #1 to get us underway in this first semi-final. China against Sweden, and you can feel the atmosphere already building nicely.
That was an enormous roar.
Every point the Swedes win feels like a national celebration, doesn't it? They're jammed in here today, sell-out crowd. And he'll need all the help he can get, you'd imagine. Mattias KARLSSON.
I have to say, I thought Mattias KARLSSON's performance yesterday against Liam Pitchford was excellent. That was the one that probably turned that quarter-final. Pitchford had been playing quite superbly for England, won 2 against Japan. Had only dropped 1 game. That was a well-placed topspin there by Marlon. Just absorbing the speed of KARLSSON there, Marlon.
Drama unfolding with more excitement every day that passes here in Halmstad. And there'll be a climatic finish tomorrow. Who will it be in the final?
That's Marlon at his best when he comes in. If you watch on the replay there, he comes in, his racket's open. You think he's going to push the ball, then all of a sudden, whoosh, the angle changes and he flicks through the ball. It's such a good shot. It's so difficult to do. The deception is exceptional. But that was a wonderful shot from KARLSSON. Just let his wrist go around the outside of the ball. Just watch on the replay. There, that's right on the white line. Perfect angle.
Mattias KARLSSON's beaten Kokiniwa twice in recent years, as well as Ovcharov and Hugo Calderano, many other top players. So he's a man very much on the rise, the Swede. Ma Long has won the World Tour Grand Finals 5 times, plus 24 World Tour titles as well, beginning with the German Open all the way back in 2007. So he is pedigree.
Can't afford to play soft into Ma's backhand. Lu Gusheng there up on his feet, getting quite animated. A former international player himself. Not a world champion, but he was a part of the team that competed in the World Championship. So to represent China at the Worlds, you're no mean player.
Just nibbled on the net there, didn't it? And spilt over the back edge of the table. That one from KARLSSON, unfortunately, from Swedish fans' perspective. The strong favourites here, China, obviously. The atmosphere building nicely here.
Just crept over the net. And it's now Mattias KARLSSON with his 2 serves to come.
That was so loaded with spin to ensure it from the Swede.
Great counter hit, really, from Ma Long. Wasn't really a topspin there. He hit through the ball. A little bit of topspin.
Good fast long serve from Mattias KARLSSON. He's changing the rhythm up nicely, mixing the play. This is good.
Ma Long now with his 2 serves to come. Strong topspin deep into the backhand of KARLSSON. Chinese bench on their feet.
Really is a powerhouse, isn't it, that lineup? Nothing less than pure world class. Despite the thousands of European fans that would delight in seeing Sweden topple the second seeds this morning, Ma Long keeps a firm grip in this opener, puts himself 2 points away from sealing it.
I guess the worrying thing here is that Mattias KARLSSON's played well in this first game, and yet he's 10-5 down. Just needed a few breaks here and there, but when you're up against the Olympic and world champion,
Ma Long shuts out the opening game, 11 points to 6.
一旦它起来这板球，就你反手这种第一板质量一定要上去啊，一个是你加质量，一个在落点当中啊，也稍微有点变化给他注意。
Sådär, det är jättebra. Fortsätt satsa på den och sådär. Och så det som du gjorde lite sluten då, att du också klev in på första bollen. Sådär, var aktiv på den, sätter press på den. Inte gå in för att bort, men våga liksom vara aktiv på första och så ut och övertag. Ja, det är okej. Kom igen.
So players making their way back to the table for game 2. China with the opener going their way. And, he's an aura about him, the former world #1, isn't he, Ma Long? A champion swagger, if you will. And mentally, that kind of in itself just provokes error.
So strong on the backhand. Have to remember that he was the world junior champion, was Ma Long, back in 2004. So that's 14 years ago. He's won every world title available to him and every Asian title available to him. So he is the complete package. I guess the fact he became a father, as you pointed out, Paul, players may hope will soften him up, but it doesn't appear to be doing.
He's quite stone-faced, isn't he, when you see him in the corridors walking about? He doesn't give much away. He doesn't let you in, which I think sort of adds to the suspense. Principally, of course, Don, because he's, he's pretty shy, but also he, doesn't speak much English. So the irritating thing at this stage is that he might play even more expansive table tennis with the game cushion he has. And those serves are quite sort of, not underrated, but you look at them and think, there's nothing going on there. But they are loaded with different spins, and, well, it's one of the best serves in the game, there's no doubt about that, and as is the return.
It's all about the wrist and deception, is the world-class serve.
And suddenly, pressure compounding on this broad-shouldered Swede now. There's a bright spotlight shining down on this centre stage here in west coast of Sweden.
Good, fast, long serve there from KARLSSON. Worth doing, worth varying what he was doing. 5-0 down, the long, fast serve.
5-1.
Ma Long now with his 2 serves to come.
Well, Sweden as a team have been in the top 4 teams 19 times in men's team table tennis cup history. Most recently back in 2004, which you told us, Don. Dearly love to get into the final, though.
3 consecutive points.
Yeah, nibbling away at this deficit nicely. To the satisfaction of the crowd, lusting after more points like that from Mattias.
And he'll be disappointed with that one. There's a fair bit of backspin. He has this very fast accelerating wrist as Ma Long. He came under the ball. There, you see it on the replay. Quite a bit of backspin on the ball.
Do love that slow-mo camera. It just gives us real insight into how much loading and spin deviance there is. Another wonderful fast long serve, this time straight down the line onto Ma Long's forehand. Caught napping there, the world number 6.
Let 6-4.
An eerie silence in the venue now. Wow! Thrashed that backhand down the line dismissively. 2 terrific consecutive points for KARLSSON. Raising his game to a climax, as you said, played so well against Liam Pitchford. Seems to be getting there today as well.
Just down. Have a look at that on the replay.
Another ferocious attack from Marlon.
Second towel break of the second game. Mattias KARLSSON enjoying a good run of points here. 5 of the last 7 have gone his way.
Another mesmerizing counter rally.
And what's impressive there is when Mattias KARLSSON's smashing the ball, it's coming through quite flat. But Marlon's just able to use his strength and lift those back, and indeed impart topspin on them as well. And that's what Marlon asks. He asks you to win the point 2 or 3 times to actually win a point against him. That probably would have been enough against most players. But Marlon recovers, returns it, and you've got to smash another winner. So a glimmer of hope. But now the lead again up to 4 points for Marlon, 9-5.
Rock solid. Often an impenetrable wall. A lock solid vault he was there, Marlon. I love this camera, Don. Get a great look at the footwork. Look at it. Super agility, wide base, keeping the angle in the knees. What an athlete. Just tried to hammer that forehand there, but he was a little handcuffed. So there we go then, Marlon, 2/3 of the way home in his singles match, 11 points to 5. He seizes the second game.
还是一样，就你现在因为你现在拿8球以后发到短的里，他现在是只有给你长的稍微有点给你短的里，他一回本稍微回他一个半钟才回他短的，他短的有的回不到，他也最多就往里反手推一下，他现在太敢欺你，直接往里掷，他要从你够他一下，他就所以他现在跑打，包括这你跟他就往里都在里，所以有时候这场比赛以后，稍微注意点，多点，能不用把手表给你看到突然休息。 接他把球还是一样，所以中间把两个是有短的，有两个是正手。啊，反手一样，啊，一定要硬朗啊。
Okay, so over in the practice hall, just adjacent to this, there is the imposing figure of Fan Zhendong. Look at this, just going through a few set plays with the coaching team there. Wow, that is a menacing sight, isn't it? When you see him in the flesh, those quads are huge. He is so strong. He'll be up next, the world #1. 9 World Tour titles to his name. And he goes up against the lefty in the Swedish pack, Christian KARLSSON, just 26 years of age, same as Mattias, and ranked 1 spot above Mattias KARLSSON. So Ulf takes a seat, and we're ready to resume in game 3 here. Marlon, 2 games to the good.
Fascinating there just to see Fan Zhendong in the other hall. There was 4 or 5 members of Team China supporting him for that practice routine. And that's an indication of the size of the team that will travel to these events. They'll have the medical support, the doctors, the physios, they'll have the training partners, they'll have the sports scientists, they'll have the psychologists, they'll have support at the highest order.
High tempo point there, won by KARLSSON. Yeah, they're utterly professional, the Chinese, there's no doubting that. They leave no stone unturned.
You mentioned yesterday, Paul, the match against Austria, and Ma Long struggled in the early part of the match against Robert Gardosh, and then the last couple of games he was absolutely amazing, or the last game and a half he was absolutely amazing. It's almost, it would have been better if he'd have won comfortably. He was encountering his first tough match here. I think once you get that one under your belt, the top player can just, it helps them settle. And I think Ma Long here is just completely settled. He got a couple of points down, but it's not panicked.
It's almost as if it's given him sort of the little kickstart that he needed, that warning signal yesterday against Gardosh. Now he's been ultra alert from the off. Often happens. I guess to a certain extent, Don, with their sort of imperiosity and their omnipresence at the business end of all of these kind of tournaments, that it must be easy to get blasé. But of course there's a constant pressure on them, because if they don't, you know, if they underperform at all, well, you know, next, brutal levels of intensity and depth in the Chinese team. Another forehand drilling through the Swedes' table.
And the other fascinating thing with the Chinese, Paul, you're talking about, you're bringing the players through as well, and always having a strong team. You just look at the age profile. They've got two 28, 29-year-olds, and then the others 17, 23 and 21. So they've got the seasoned campaigners, and here's Ma Long, Xu Xin's playing as well in this semi-final, but they've got the younger kids coming through as well, and they're giving them big games, constantly thinking about the future and bringing players on, and it's very impressive how they do that.
Well, the crowd sensing that it's do or die moment for Mattias KARLSSON. He needs to find another gear somehow. But you sense Ma Long in control. So, timeout has been called by the Swedes, understandably, as we enjoy some footage of the rapid foot movement of Ma Long.
Sensible goal by Ulf Karlsson. But again, that last point was a classic example. Against most players, you'd have won the point. But Ma Long just keeps it coming back, keeps it under pressure. Doesn't just return it, he actually returns it and adds a bit to it. Adds to the pressure. And that's why he's the current world and Olympic champion.
You know, understandably, you kind of think that Mattias KARLSSON will be sort of bereft of idea here, because it's just such a thankless task, as you kind of inferred with what you were saying there. Olympic champion, the man that's won every title there is. But Ulf Karlsson, a very experienced coach, and he'll be looking for little angles, little ways that his charge can get an in here. Big moments right now, because you sense Ma Long can sniff the victory. Wonderful receive from the Swede. intervening there in favour of Ma.
He acknowledged his good fortune. I think he even apologised in Swedish.
Nice fast long from Mattias KARLSSON.
He's caught him a few times.
Yeah,
with
he
that
has.
serve.
Yeah, it's been fruitful, that passage of play, isn't it? Marlon fully aware that his forehand is feared, but not if you're going fast and quick to it sometimes. Nice change up there from Mattias.
The slower one paid dividends there. Good variation in the pace. Came up the back of the ball, went for spin rather than speed.
Well, we've seen Marlon's footwork. Here's the Swede. He's bigger, taller, heavier, and still moving very well, loading those legs nicely. You can see that little camera from here, actually, under the table, if you look closely. Yeah. Another pile-driving forehand as Young coils that upper body with warp-like speed, Marlon. Let's see it again. Look at this. Loads it up and lets it fire. Pulls the trigger.
The placement was excellent as well. Right underneath the playing arm.
Yeah, into the elbow, eh? So setting sail for home, you sense, Marlon. Oh, he's missed that one, though. Guttural roar of approval from Mattias KARLSSON there. Senses his moment. They steal back momentum here. You sense time is running out for the Swede. Super play off the backhand wing. Explosive acceleration.
The key there was the spin that he got. Of course, he has the reverse rubber on the backhand, spun up the back of the ball, and it was that top spin that wins the point. There's the block off the end of the table.
Breaks in front in this third game. How about that? KARLSSON looking good with another serve to come here. He means business though, doesn't he, Marlon? None of this giving games away as he did yesterday to Austria. Robert Gardosh and all that, taken to the fifth. He wants to keep the youngster at arm's length. Such a good front runner. He just carries on running. Deadlock in this must-win game for all Swedish fans.
Almost yorking, as we would say in cricketing terms. That long fast serve went under the bat. There it was, a yorker.
Oodling with spin. Look at it.
It was a good response by KARLSSON. The backhand topspin, it was the right idea, but the service was right on the baseline. Perfect placement. And again, the tactics were brave. He was going for the flick down the line. You can't play safe against a player like Marlon and just guide the ball back. You have to be a little bit aggressive. So full marks to Mattias KARLSSON, but of course now he faces 2 game points and indeed 2 match points.
Saving his best till last, Mattias KARLSSON. More of that, think the Swedes.
Marlon had already gone. Run round blind is the expression. Gambled that the ball was going to come to him on the backhand side. He'd have been waiting there with that forehand. Didn't happen. Great tactics from Sweden.
He's got another serve as well. Can he save the second match point?
Well
fortune favours the brave, and he was that there. You have to admit, he really went after that backhand. All credit to Mattias KARLSSON.
It was only a slight touch of the net, but the ball was going that quick. But that slight touch just moved it a fraction, and that was enough.
Straining every sinew there, Marlon. What great end-range control on that stretch forehand. How about that? Because that was pummeled by KARLSSON. So now a third match point opportunity. The former world #1.
No. 10-11.
Well, not third time lucky there for Marlon. KARLSSON with a brilliant response again under the utmost pressure. Comes up with the goods straight into the body of Mar. He wants to put this to bed right here. Super agility around the ball.
The short push there was with a little bit of side spin as well. Just watch this technique here. There, can you see how he just curved his back to push it wide to the forehand? And then there's that trademark forehand topspin. Puts his whole body action into that technique.
Match point #4 for Mark.
Timeout called by China.
现在不一定非要摆在一个短。其实如果你感觉你这边防守两边有数的话，可以往中间出个半分，让他拉一下，你就先围他一下，围他一下，把两边弄看住就行。这样的话，你的长的也能兼顾一下。是吧？你别人有时候要
quite a bit of respect actually for the Swedish player that the timeout's been called at this stage.
Susin looking on very relaxed.
我在想，你要是摆得短，你敢不敢用反手挑？要不然就是接点半手台。没有，他拿反手挑这球。可以自己想，要不就接反手台。他肯定是要回击短的，这球慢搓不是好球。
He's never that big on eye contact, Marlon, is he? He's his own man, that's for sure. He's had a lot of input there. He'll be the one that ultimately decides what he wants to do. But he has a fourth match point opportunity now. Can he get across the line? Or will Mattias KARLSSON engineer some more brilliance?
Will he launch one of these long, fast serves? Or just keep it tight? Be brave if he went long and fast. Backhand top spin. Good spin from Marlon. The smash off the end of the table.
A deserved winner, Marlon. An imperious display in the end. Shutting the door on Mattias KARLSSON in straight games. He'll be delighted with that, and a very respectful timeout called at the back end of that game. So China get the opening win here. Go 1-0 up in this first men's semi-final. Took it all in his stride, Ma Long, as he has done so often on the big occasions. I remember it all really started for him at 2015 in Suzhou, where he won the world champs for the first time. He jumped on the table in elation because he put this ghost to rest. Let's hear from him now.
Hi, Ma Long. Congratulations on the winning. A very strong win to start. You made very few mistakes during the match. How could you manage your performance? 这场比赛恭喜你3-0强势取胜，你犯了很少的错误，你如何做到的呢？
其实我今天还是做了很多的准备吧，因为在过去几天卡尔松一直打得非常不错，所以今天我觉得自己的准备非常充分，包括经历了昨天的3-2以后，今天一开局的这种调动还是要比之前要好一些，所以才会在开局2-0领先。
I have fully prepared for this match. Mattias played very well in the previous matches, so I tried to make more active to myself, and especially after 3-2 yesterday, so I prepared fully for the match. So the Sweden team has the crowd behind them, but we can also see there are many Chinese fans in this stadium. That's the key point. That is very also important to the Chinese team. Don't you think so? 瑞典队是主场，但是这里有很多中国的球迷在支持的这个队伍，你是否从中获得力量呢？
还是感谢这么多中国球迷来到现场为我们中国队加油吧。同时也感谢这么多瑞典的球迷能够为瑞典加油，这是一场精彩的比赛吧，相信。
So thanks for the Chinese audience here for supporting us, and also thank you for the Swedish audience for supporting their team. And I think this would be a fantastic match. Thank you.
Ever humble Ma Long, and some very nice words from him there. And as I kind of mentioned, he was, aware that having been just managing to get the win yesterday, 3-2 against 3-0 against Austria, but 3-2 in his match, he was totally prepared, as he put it, just in case. But takes his head-to-head over this opponent, Mattias KARLSSON, to 3-0 now, and looking in fine form. So that's 5-0 Ma Long then in matches won so far here. Next up, it'll be Fan Zhendong against Christian KARLSSON. Don't go anywhere.